Okay, Pasha left us. Just at the moment when I told him that we're starting.
That's an illusion. Here I am.
He decided to leave us. Hi everyone. I'm happy to see that we
Hi.
already have some viewers there.
Hello.
Hello. And well, as usual, this is iBookBinding's live stream. Today, our guest is Armina Ghazaryan, a printer, typographer, graphic designer.
And kind of overall curious person.
An overall curious person from Armina is joining us from Belgium, from Ghent, and Pavel, my co-host, joined us from Bulgaria. Hi, Pavel. Nice to see you again. And well, I'm Stepan. I'm sitting in France, in Versailles, at least for now, and we'll see about it. And yeah, today we're talking about printing history, and specifically about the Museum of Industry in Ghent, in Belgium, where Armina works at least part of the time.
Yes, one day in a week.
Yeah,
1 day in a week.
Weren't we gonna start with something else? Also print related.
Yeah. Yes. That was the plan. We wanted to have a short, I don't know, go on a tangent of sorts. But before that, I guess, as usual, we ask our viewers to leave a comment and to say from where they are joining us. It's always fun to see which locations we cover with our live streams. And obviously, if you have any questions to us or to Armina or to our future guests, please leave them in the comments section as well. And we'll try to answer them if we can. But yeah, something that we wanted to start with is a couple of objects I bought recently, not very recently, earlier this year, but we never had a chance to talk about them on our live streams. And it's a set of 2 prints. Okay, it's upside down. It's a set of 2 prints.
Oh, this is very beautiful. Actually, we can tell what's on it. If I'm not mistaken, this actually work made by René Treumann that you bought in Amsterdam. Is it right?
Yeah.
So we see here different kind of objects related to printing museum or just actually print shop, which we will also see now in the kind of museum after some while. So, but this is very kind of interesting work made by René Treumann. This is cylinder press, and the interesting things about this actually work that it has been typeset.
Just give me a moment. I'll switch swiftly. If you can continue with the introduction, that would be great. I will just switch to showing photos because it will be much better and in more detail than what we have here. Just give me a moment to set up everything because it's always a bit tricky. So, can you tell us a couple of words about René Treumann, or, for example, about Druckwerk in the market? Because that's through what I bought this prints and through their how do you call it? Forum, not a forum.
It's kind of gathering.
Yeah.
It's kind of advertisements. Druckwerk in the Marge is actually an organization based in actually Holland. It actually gathers all the Dutch and Belgian printers under one roof. So you can be part of this kind of organizations. And once in a year they organize a very big fair. Mainly it was before always held in Leiden, but actually from this year on, it moved to actually Amersfoort. It's a 2 days event, mainly weekend in October or November, where different kind of printers can show their products and also get acquired with fellow printers. And you have a lot of actually people from the same area. So it's a very big networking event, and this is also very kind of special because it gathers basically Dutch and actually Belgian printers, but the kind of small ones. There are no commercial large print shops involved. And this work that you bought from kind of René Treumann, this I like it actually very much, to be honest, and also the way it has been done, because it's actually typeset from a little metal type, a lid type, and different kind of ornaments, which didn't really supposed to be used in this way. But he's very creative with it. And okay, this work is quite actually fiddly to actually typeset, because you have to work with this very small material, running around with tweezers, be sure that everything is locked up in a form. But he has done beautifully work, and this is also very nice illustration of the cylinder printing press. So yeah, it's quite creative the way he
and surprisingly very detailed. That's just
it's kind of surprisingly very
and do you think it was printed in one go, like it was all shaped? Because it is a big thing.
I think it's a printed one go, because it's a one color, and this is, I think, the most easiest thing to do is just typeset it just in one form and print it in one go. And I think it's actually possible to do it in one go.
Yeah.
So I don't see.
And yeah, I wanted to switch to the next one. Yeah, here we already got a couple of comments on Facebook, and yeah, from Thomas Haravemaker. Good morning from Thomas in Amsterdam. Yeah, he commented about René Treumann, and these prints were made for the Royal Organization of Printers for their 75th anniversary, and here is the stamp commemorating that. And also Thomas added that Druckungsbörs will happen in Amersfoort this year on the 22nd
in October.
So a couple of weeks later in October in Amersfoort. This year it's separated with how it's called, Buchambach-Börs.
Boekkunstbeurs.
Yeah, I think it was Boekkunstbeurs before, but I think now
it's two separate two separate organizations.
So and the old fair, the fair that is a bookbinders part of the fair will happen in Leiden as it was before in the beginning of November. So yeah, that's a bit of announcement. And another comment from him: yes, it was printed on a large format press. Here is the second.
This is also a very nice example, and we see here from left to right different kind of objects related to a print shop. Then you, because first of all, kind of near the door, you see cutting machine, and it's very beautifully done using ornaments, very fine ornaments and different metal pieces. Then you see letter cabinet. You see and then in the middle of it, you see linotype, which is very beautifully typeset from very small different parts. And I wonder how much time he has spent on this work, because it's quite fiddly. And then the very last one on the right side, I think it's something like Asbern or Corex proofing press, which is also beautifully done. You have different kind of ornaments to show the dark pieces of the press and lights one. So I think in terms of illustrations, it's very beautifully done.
I really like how he plays with perspective. It looks almost cubist in its effect, because you're kind of looking at the same objects from two sides.
Yeah,
very witty in my opinion.
Yeah, and I
remember looking at it in real life, and it's amazing. You just can't take your eyes off it, because when you look from a distance, it looks like a whole object, and then you see all those minute details, and you start imagining how he assembled them. Bravo.
I think it was hours of work, and it's a very nice example of how actually limited can you be in terms of using material, but how creative can you be within these limitations, and how you can make a beautifully typeset work. And I think this one as well has been printed in one print run.
Yeah, and I understand there were more prints in the set, something like 4 or something. At least I've been looking for more information about this print run. I'm not sure about the exact number, maybe Thomas will be able to correct me.
I think there's a print shop. It still exists, I think, in Amsterdam, if I'm not mistaken. It's called Atelier Typique.
Okay, maybe I should reach out and invite another guest to our live stream. Anyway, who we definitely need to invite is Thomas, by the way. I think I'm not sure. Anyway, also on Facebook from Yael. Hi guys, at the airport on my way to Turkey from Australia. Yael is one of our regulars. I'll watch the recording on a plane. Okay, that's good. Nice. And then on YouTube as well, from another our regular Real LWD. Hello from Lancaster, UK. So that's already fun. A group of regulars here in the comments. Paul Henry, London, United Kingdom. Niels Howard.
Say hi.
Hi all. Niels from Belgium. Hi Armina and hi Thomas. And that's it for now. Well, again, if you have any questions, comments, recommendations, anything, please share them in the comment section, and we'll be glad to see them and to read them. And I guess now we can move forward to our main topic. Should I run the video right away, and we will try to comment on it? And if you can start describing the printing part of the museum and how it became what it is today and what it is today, and I will do my technical stuff here on this side.
Okay, we're going to speak about kind of Industrie Museum today, the Museum of Industry, and it has 4 actually floors. One of them is textile department. The most actually kind of important one for me, and I think for us as well, is a printmaking department. And over the years, it has been also transformed from being 1/4 of the floor just through the whole floor. Just 4 years ago, everything has been transformed. So kind of people who come in our department can see the timeline regarding different kind of presses, hand presses, cylinder presses, also lithography and silk screen, and so on. And we also have typecasting equipment. There is a very large collection of wood type, metal type, and ornaments. And what's also makes exceptional this actually department, that actually people who are actually coming to our place not only can see things, but they can touch things, they can follow workshops, they can make actually something with their own hands. It became very interactive department, and it can suit different actually publics from kids to adults and professionals actually, and so on. What we also have, what I think also it make it actually kind of special, we run different workshops for kids, graphic design students, for adults, so they can come and they also can get acquired with craft of actually typesettings. And what they can do, they can print postcards or like posters using wood type and metal type from our collection. And it's also a nice way to make actually people know what it's all about and what our basics of typography is. We also have silk screening workshops, and we also have dry point workshops for little kids. What we also do, we have from actually December last year, we have a program Artists in Residence. So if you're designer or kind of artist involved in actually printmaking, you can submit your project to museum. Museum will actually look at it, and you're more than welcome to use our printing equipment and our beautiful collection of wood type and metal type to make your work. Over this 6 months, we had already two artists in residence. One
maybe we should return to this issue a bit later because you've sent me some photos to share, so and we'll be able to show
so we can also show what actually people can do in our actual department.
Exactly. Perfect. So let's start the tour. I guess we will go as it flows and just stop from time to time for you to make some comments, and
okay, we do that.
And I should say that's the video was shot as you go in this large hall where the exhibition is located, and so here's the entrance, and right from the start you get all of this.
The most oldest pieces is like it kind of follows the timeline. So you have the wooden actually hand presses, and then on the right side you would see the iron actually hand presses. There are kind of sometimes also paper actually presses. Almost everything has been it's all in kind of working actually condition. Then you have a couple of cabinets with wood type, actually metal type. People also can touch things. They can stab things. They can write things and so on.
I think you told us about the stuff on the right hand side, and it will be. It is somewhere later in this video, so maybe I should just switch forward and we can show it. Here it is. Just to give an illustration of what's happening.
Yeah. So there's our Stanhope and Albion hand actually presses, which are also in actually working actually condition, and there we have like very small etching press, which has been used for a workshop. So like we try to also make everything work.
Yeah, and so is it like almost everything can be used, and is it really used for some projects? How is it organized?
Some of the presses are used for actually certain actually projects. Some of them are not. It really depends on what kind of project is it. So like etching presses are used for the workshops, and then you have these hand actually presses that are not used actually so frequently because you need to have specific projects for it, and you have to be very careful. So we always are quite actually careful with these actually presses to be used, because even though they can look actually robust, they're quite fragile.
Because they are cast iron or something like that, or.
Yeah, it's actually cast iron and so on. But we actually use them for demonstrations. We have sometimes demonstrations in our museum. We have like also the first Thursday in the month where we're open till 10. So like everybody can come after work, and we have different volunteers in our department.
So it's like tomorrow.
Actually, yeah, it's actually tomorrow. So if you are in Ghent tomorrow, you are actually more than welcome up till 10. We're going to be there running presses, and you can chat with the printers. You can get your printed work for free and so on. So it's like every first actually Thursday of the week we're open till 10. Yeah, and also I forgot maybe actually to mention that this printing department is actually running mainly on volunteers. It's between 8 or 10 actually people. Mainly there are retired actually printers who has a lot of actually knowledge and experience. So they came, they restore our printing presses, and they make work with it. They print with it. So for the last couple of months, what we did, we tried to produce the print work for the museum in the museum itself, because we have all this equipment. We have cylinder presses, platen presses, and now we have also offset press, which is actually working fine. So we try to do everything in a museum. It's good from a financial point of view, but it's also good for visitors to see how it actually has been produced, and they can witness wholly the product being actually printed. So this is what we also do.
Nice.
For the last 4 months.
Yeah, I asked about if you use the printers or all of the printers or not all of the printers, because when I posted one of the announcements, there was a comment like, "Oh, it's nice to see all these printers, but not unless they are all used, because otherwise it's like waste of space and
No, the majority of them is really used, so we can send good news to the person who has the question. So it's not only standing; it's really used.
Yeah, perfect. So let me check. There was something else from Thomas there. Actually, the invitation from the printers organization went out to 3 partners. Let me see: Frans de Jong, Renette Rooman, and Bart Bowman's. As Bart pulled out, and I was allowed to make an extra print. The print of Franz Young is more spectacular, printed in 6 colors. That's obviously related to the first part of our today's talk. Thanks again, Thomas.
I found the print in question. I sent you the link. It is indeed spectacular if it is the one.
You've sent me like a 1,000 links.
No. I just sent you one link with one image.
I mean, separately. Before that. Yeah, just a moment. Let me.
There is also a very good book about the work of Franz de Jong. It actually calls painting with printing press, and there are very nice actually examples how creative can you be with kind of limitations of whatever you have actually in store. And there are indeed 7, 8, 9 color prints with the most weird combinations. And this book is still available to buy online or like in a nice bookstore.
And he is indeed a very interesting example of an artist whose work, whose range became wider the older he got, because he started like in the 20s, in the early 20s, I think, and he had always been a very spectacular master. But things like that, I mean, who who else did that? You can't even immediately tell it's a print. It's very impressive.
That's why
and I saw them. They are big things. Yeah.
And now everybody can see my insane
just a few tabs.
Tabs collection. Also, Thomas writes, I'll have a idea about Ghent, Amsterdam. That's
it's actually print. It's kind of publishing house, and they made a book about it, I think.
Okay, so let's return to our video and continue with a more modern part of the exhibition. So
will we see the letters? I really like the letters.
Yeah, we'll see the letters,
we'll
but
to that,
I guess I also show some photos because
there is also place behind this actually bars. This actually the actual working space where me and other kind of volunteers are really working. So on the kind of left side you can see the typecasting equipment, and then you have kind of Ludlow, several actually type cases, and then it goes to cylinder press. But maybe we can actually stop here for just a couple of seconds. So on your left side you see.
Is it okay? Yeah.
That is actually perfect. So what we see here is actually intertype linotype typecasting actually machines. We have 3, and
I also have so sorry to interrupt you. I also have a couple of short videos showing how they work. So maybe we can.
It's actually spectacular. A spectacular way of working, and that story of this kind of linotype is also quite actually spectacular because it has been invented in 1886 by a German watchmaker in New York, Otmar Morgenthaler, and we're actually lucky to have two of these typecasting equipment in our collection, and we also have 2 actually persons who can actually operate that actually typecasting equipment, because it's really a problem sometimes to find the right kind of person being able not only typecastings but also repair stuff, because usually all of kind of things goes really wrong. So here is one of the volunteers, Clement. He has been actually studied that in kind of 70s, so he is still one of our main kind of line activities. So this press producing is kind of lines of text. It also has been invented for a newspaper industry to make it quicker and cheaper. So it also produces a line. It's a slug. And you can print your newspaper today, and if you don't need it, of course, actually tomorrow, you can let it melt just actually behind, and you can type the new text actually the day afterwards. So it's a quite quick. And
Could you please tell me? I'm always confused. What is that thing on top of him?
It's kind of matrices. It's actually matrices. This is actually your typefaces. It's actually matrices. So when actually Clement is actually typing the text, these matrices, they fall where they have to fall. They correspond with the system, and each actually matrix is kind of stands for a specific letter. So you have actually letters actually coming out.
And
that big thing is just
the
one
different
alphabet.
heights of it is the different numbers of letters that they have. The more popular, the more letters.
Yeah, I'm not sure how they actually arranged. I'm not sure if they're arranged alphabetically or not. This one I know. I don't really know. The only one thing that I know, there's one of this machine that has only one kind of typeface, and another one has two separate typefaces. So you can print your text using two actually separate actually typeface, which is also nice. Maybe there is also like slightly kind of difference between typecasting equipment like linotype and monotype. In linotype, the white space is it's there, you cannot fix it. And if you are graphic designer, tab designer, this white spaces in between words of kind of sentences can be appalling, because that is the only one downside, I think. Because with like other equipment, you can use hair space, six space, and so on. Here is like slightly kind of limited. But what we do now, we have actually a project running with one of the schools. They're making a book, and it's going to be typeset on our linotype and also printed in a museum. So we try to make a project out of it.
Okay, nice. I should probably mention that these gray areas you get when I switch stuff, I don't know why this is happening, and we should probably check it before our future stream.
We survived it.
Well, that's work in progress anyway. So a couple of more comments on YouTube. Richard Minsky joined us. Great, the presses are in use. I hope to get there sometime and print.
Always welcome.
That's an interesting one. And then also from Thomas, Franz de Jong was my master, and he started just after the Second World War. Earlier this year, I guess, I donated his entire collection that I inherited to the Museum van het Boek in Den Haag. It's a Armina Museum, yeah.
It's actually a book museum. It's a very lovely place to visit.
That's an amazing place. What we lived in the Netherlands.
Thomas, consider yourself officially invited to our podcast.
Yes. When we were living in the Netherlands, and I had this museum card, which allows you to visit like a plethora of museums for free throughout the year, and it costs something like 50 euros or something. And I visited book museum in the Hague every quarter, because they switch their exhibition every quarter.
Yeah.
And every time it was amazing. Mm-hmm. Yes. Mm-hmm. So, and also for every size you need a different set of matrices, thus a different magazine. And I guess that's
indeed.
Okay, Armina was the old name, and okay, they switched names. Whatever, both works, I guess. Museum of the Book, and it's amazing. Anyway, if you are going to the Netherlands and you are interested in books, go to the Hague and visit book museum.
It's a must visit
in the Hague. Yes, definitely.
And also, while you're there, do go and visit MC Escher's museum. Speaking of great printers, that's a museum I'll never forget.
And also, there is a King's Library over there in the Hague, and in the King's Library there is a children book museum, which is also quite nice, and they have quite interesting exhibitions. And I just got a notification in my mail list that tomorrow, as it's museum night, King's Library in the Hague invites people to enter the archives, which is also quite amazing.
Oh,
so
that's the idea for tomorrow.
Yeah, another idea for tomorrow. So, should we move forward?
Yeah.
Let's see what's happening after that.
So it was our typecasting department. Okay, you can simply monitor.
I didn't have to switch. I did everything. I just forgot that I edited everything together. Sorry. Well, this happens.
So you can see the slugs, and there is like another side.
Should we stop?
Maybe if you can run a bit earlier. There are two more things maybe to say.
Just a moment.
We can go here.
Like that. It wouldn't be
just a bit more
too sharp.
I can stop.
I really like this great wheel, like a captain's wheel.
This actually great wheel is it's our lithography press. It's from French actually. It's a Belgian, I think, manufacturer, and it's still working. We still have two actually volunteers who can operate this machinery, and they come frequently to make their lithography kind of free works. And then on the first row you see the Heidelberg platen press. I'm sure everybody knows what is it and what it does. We also use it for production for the museum, mainly for postcards, die-cut forms, and so on. It's actually used quite frequently, and also for demonstrations. This is also something new that we have actually in the museum. People can also book actually demonstrations of 2 or 3 actually presses, and then we have a couple of volunteers standing and the presses and kind of demonstrating how it works, and also explaining to people. And we have sometimes graphic design companies and schools coming over in large groups, so they can witness the working of actually presses.
Just prints like this one.
It's on a kind of green one. It's a FAG. This is kind of my work that I've done for the museum.
Pasha, Armina gave the second one for you, and I forgot to pass it to you when you were staying with us.
Well, see you in Romania soon, I hope. Yeah.
I also have this one.
Yeah. It's actually less fiddly that René Trouwman actually worked, but the same way of actually thinking who went into it. It also has been typeset from different metal ornaments and kind of details, and has been also kind of fiddly. So every time the museum has a new exhibition, I make a limited edition poster, mainly kind of 50 pieces, and also cards. All these products are normally for sale in a museum shop with very democratic prices. And it's also that we always do. There is always link between printing department and exhibitions that actually coming to museum. And it's like usually every 6 or 8 months we have new exhibition. And now in actually November, from actually 18 or 19 November on, we're going to have exhibition which is called Burn. It's about safety at work, but it's also about burnout, mental health. So it's going to be 2 more new actually posters coming out, and a set of cards. I cannot show anything because it's not there yet. But this is also how you have a link between a printing department and just overall museum. And I cannot operate the Heidelberg platen one, but I can operate this kind of cylinder press, which you can see this in a green.
Just a moment. Yes. Sorry about the glitch that happened just a moment ago. Because I saw that my video is mirrored, and when I'm showing the objects, they are mirrored as well and not readable. And I was trying to flip everything and flip the frame, but now I can show
but
the
it's
poster
fine now.
and show so that everybody.
Yeah, this is actually cashier. This is actually a machine for actually typing stuff. Has been typeset also from different actually materials, and I usually do kind of design myself, typesetting myself, and also printing myself. And this is also what I really enjoy. And also people who are like actually passing by, who they always can see the process. So you see all this printing equipment is faced to the public. So actually public always can see actually what's going on. And our volunteers are there for 2 or 3 days in a week. So it's like always, almost always somebody in, so people can see machines being actually used. They can ask the questions and so on. And here is a workshop area. So you would see slightly afterwards big tables, a couple of small proofing presses, and these are the presses that actually has been used for the workshops. These ones are not restored yet that you see actually on the image, but we're going to be there one day.
Yeah. Okay.
On the right side.
How old are they? What is the oldest piece of machinery?
I think we have actually paper press from 1700.
I can
That's,
switch
I think,
back,
one of the
I
oldest
guess,
one.
because it was right in the beginning. So the
Yes,
one on the left.
Yes, I think it's from actually 1700, and then you have wooden ones who comes from 18th century, and then it just gradually goes up and so on. So it's, I think, old enough.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, so, because our timeline is actually starting where the timeline of Plantin Moretus Museum actually stopped, because they have oldest equipment, and we just kind of pick up from there, and we have slightly more modern equipment. This one,
but not to throw shade or anything, but in Plantin Moretus, I guess the exhibition is quite frozen, so you just go through the rooms and there is this equipment and you can see it.
It's, I think, different setup.
Yeah.
Well, you couldn't possibly work a 17th century press. That would be.
I think there are some events happening there, but
they do run so much workshops sometimes.
Yeah, but your setup looks much more interactive and active.
Yes.
Not to throw any shade. It's different concepts. So
it's just
both are
valid,
different. Absolutely.
Yeah. We just kind of pick up actually from there, and we can go there kind of according timeline slightly further. These three actually printing presses that you can see, they are from Belgian manufacturing, and the very first one is actually working. We have been printing A0 posters on that, so it's like perfect. It's actually working actually fine. We're not using that actually frequently, because we don't have so much projects which will be kind of fitting into the thing. But here we've done a couple of rounds of the posters, and you see the misprints on the tympan. So
and A0 is something this
it's
big.
Quite large. It's 1 meter. It's 1 meter on kind of 80 centimeters or something like that. So it's kind of the largest format that we could print. Because before the corona, every year we actually organize with different kind of organizations steamroller printing. So we've been asking 30-40 printers to make very large lino cuts, and we had steamroller kind of standing outside the museum, and we have been printing outside. So it was very small festival for I think 1 or 2 days. It was before the corona. Maybe it will come back, I don't know. So these are the things that we also did as a museum.
I think you've shown this large book that was printed this way at the end of this video, and this part of the museum was dedicated to more modern equipment, and I'm sort of going through it, not minding.
It's a time machine.
But yeah, there is some equipment, some computers even there, but yeah, definitely the lion's share of the equipment is earlier than computers. So should we switch to this large book that was here?
Yeah, these are the results of this actually steamroller printer actually festival. So as I told, there were like different art of artists has been invited. There has been given large pieces of lino, and these are kind of results. And this book has been bound by Laurence. She is also working at the kind of museum, so she's done everything by hand. So it's it's really huge, but it's also nice to see nice actually for people to see what can be done. Yeah, and it's also printed on actually canvas, because it wasn't possible to print it on paper. So yeah, you see the very large book.
Yeah, and something for our bookbinder viewers as well, not only for printers.
It's very challenging, and I think it's 50 kilo or something.
Yeah. Pavel, Any questions? Should I switch to photos, maybe to show some of the type from your collection,
can.
and we can discuss? Or should we? Maybe we should start with.
Yeah, I wanted to ask: is any of this online? Can our viewers see the images from this book on anywhere?
I'm not sure, but I think I might have some actually pictures. I will try to post it later on in between actually comments, because I have some kind of pictures of the festival itself, so people can see how the works has been done, and they also can see the works. This is kind of, I definitely can do it in the comments slightly later on.
Are you planning to do something like that again? Because that's a spectacular object.
It would be quite cool to have it again, but of course, it kind of depends on museum and different kind of organization. If they feel like doing that, I think it would be very cool to have it again, because we did that, I think, for like 8 years in a row. Mm-hmm. And then thing came, don't mention the war. After Corona, it's slightly kind of everything is going very slow, but who knows, maybe it can be can be done again.
Okay, so I have some issues on my side.
That's fine.
Just give me a moment, please.
What I also actually forgot to mention is that also because of the fact that the museum collection of wood type and metal type is very large, very and very kind of interesting. We have also kind of recently researchers coming in. Mainly, they're doing research about type foundries, and so on. So we have very nice collection of type specimens, but also wood type, and they do research. And I'm also, a couple of years ago, I started to make an archive and trying to make type specimens from the wood type available in the collection. So I print everything in, I scan it in, so we as a museum workers and
here is something.
Yeah, it is one of them.
How big is it, and when and where from does it originate?
It's a very good actually question. How big is it? It's like nearly 25 centimeters large. It's not a full actually alphabet, and we got it from one of the former print shop publishing actually houses in Ghent. It's called Imschot. They got closed, and they donate all the collection to museum. And I try to catalog now kind of everything that they actually give to us by just printing it out and scan it in, and so on. And so also we have at least some kind of information about that. And it's very interesting collection. Mainly it's a full actually alphabet in very good conditions, except this one, which has like just a few actually letters. But BRT is also quite actually iconic in Belgium, because it's a former name of our TV broadcasting company, who doesn't exist. It has kind of another name now, so that's why BRT.
Okay.
And this looks like something from the 60s, maybe 70s, slightly psychedelic vibes.
Indeed. And also the next image, if you would actually return to the next image with the thing, this is also the way I catalog things. So I print stuff, I scan it in, it's kind of printed again on one actually big sheet, and I try to count how many A's and B's you have within this actually type, and what's missing, what you have extra, which actually height is it, because it's very important. Because if you have your printing press on your French height, you cannot put actually Dutch type under it, and you better know it up front, so because you will kind of otherwise damage your wood type and cylinder and so on. This is also kind of important. And then from actually where is it, and then kind of the number and so on. It's actually ongoing work. I'm doing that already 2 years. Because from the moment then I'm happy that I've done everything, they bring more type. And it's a never-ending story. And this is how it approximately look like. And now I'm having help from actually my colleagues to digitize that, to make a photo and so on. So we're going to take pictures of the wood type and then the pages, and then we can see how many A's and B's are in this cast. And also the reason why I'm calculating all these A and B's is actually following. Imagine if you are a designer and you wanna typeset a poster and you need 4 actually A's, but this actually cabinet, this actually typeface has only 2. It means that you have to do 2 actually print runs or just choose like another one. It's like a very practical reason that went into it. It might have seemed silly to kind of calculate the letters, but it's also needed. You have to know it up front before starting design.
I have a story related to that. I have a book in my collection. Well, it's obviously a book about some bookish stuff, and it was sold by a bookseller in the Netherlands to a customer in the UK, and there is a letter from this bookseller who also was a printer. I don't remember the name, unfortunately, right now. But the main part of the story is that he letterpress. He printed this note himself, and there was at some moment he didn't have enough Y's, so he switched them with IJ, like the Dutch digraph A. And it's the, I don't know, it gives me so much it makes me so happy when I see this object. Well, once again it reminds me of the Netherlands, because I guess this digraph is one of the most Dutch things ever. Or
that is very beautiful. I completely can follow your thoughts.
So
what about how the type itself, the wooden bits were made? Are they hand cut? Is there a special tool to make them?
It's a hand cut. These ones that we have is actually hand cut. I think they have been maybe it's two different processes that went to it. They may be kind of manufactured, but the kind of finishing touch is like always happened by hand, because it's too kind of fragile and so on. And if you would the wood is used for this wood type can be from palm tree, pear tree, plum tree, a hard wood type, so it can handle the pressure. This is also one of the last prints that I've done actually last week, and I discovered that it's all kind of Dutch hide, so we cannot print it on a normal press. So
I have this smallest wooden type that you've shown me in one of the photos somewhere here. Let me find it, because it was so I don't know, fragile.
I think it was done with swashes.
Where is it?
But I can't. I always thought that a wooden type has to be of certain size, because otherwise, if you press it, it just breaks. But certainly not. I remember the photos Stepan is talking about. It's something like minute, like very, very gentle, very, very cute.
Yeah.
Is there a special press, or do you just apply less pressure to use?
Actually, no. I don't think that we do anything actually kind of special with it, because these ones that we have in store, they're quite actually hard, so we actually never break anything. So so far so good. So
the wood used for the font, are those European woods? Because I know that in South America and in Southeast Asia, there are some particularly tough sorts of wood used for the most detailed wood carving, and by the way, to make weapons, those metal clubs, because they're really, really tough.
Yeah, of course, we cannot be 100% sure about where that wood is actually coming from, but I think, as far as I know, all this wood type that came into our collection is from Belgian print shops and different kind of Belgian companies. So I think, and I would like to think that it comes actually something from Europe. And also this is a wood type that we get in the museum. It's a collection that has been gradually actually growing. So the collection came from the print shops that got closed, or like old schools. Sometimes people just came with actually donations with like 50 boxes of actually wood type they didn't really need because somebody died in the family and they didn't know what to do with it. So it come from different. This is Italian type. I'm not sure how is it called. It's very small. It's very fragile. I think it's 60 points high. And as you see, it's not even used yet. The wood is still actually quite light, so it hasn't been used, and you have very nice accents to it.
Yeah, it's just amazing.
60 points.
It looks so fragile, and here is a wider view, so that viewers can probably get some proportions. Probably I should put I don't know, my hand there, or €1 coin. But yeah,
it was large. It was very small indeed, and we didn't really use it. We have a couple of like that. It's kind of lighter. Okay, this is kind of very nice cue. Sorry.
Yeah. So should I show some more photos of the type from your collection? Let's just scroll back.
Meanwhile, I wanted to ask you, what are your plans for the end goal once you catalog all the fonts? It sounds like a book project or a website project, because with all that variety, surely it shouldn't be
something has to be done.
tool.
Indeed, something has to be done. I think your way of thinking is quite right, and there's all kind of thing that has to be discussed with the museum, of course. Of course, the one of the ideas, because it's. All this wood type, it belongs to a museum, so it also has to be on some point. It has to come online. So in forms of scans or like pictures or whatever people can use. And also what I've made now, I made a type actually specimen book, which we have lying in our workshop area. So like whenever you wanna work with wood type, you can immediately see in which actually cabinet it is kind of lying, where exactly, how many A's and B's, and so on. So I had made such kind of tool that also can help us to navigate through collection. But I think the kind of next step is to put it all online and kind of available for public. It's not going to be tomorrow, but I think it's going to take like maybe a year, kind of something like that. And also this type specimen book is also used by our artists in residence, because if you come to workshop, which you have no idea where everything is lying, you have to be able to find things. So it has also practical reason to it. Yeah, this is how the kind of typesetting works usually kind of look like.
That's the one that you just showed us.
Yeah.
Right?
You have three color posters. First, actually, the yellow colors, the yellow letters has been printed. Then actually, the next day, the green one, and then actually the blue one. So it was kind of fiddly, but it was the most enjoyable process.
We also have another comment from Thomas. Wood type started at 48 points.
Which is 17 millimeters.
Okay, good to know. Good to know.
And that's pretty amazing.
So yeah, it kind of looks as a kind of spaceship actually sometimes.
Yeah,
yeah,
that's true. So pointers.
Yeah, there is also a large cabinet with kind of a lot of ornaments and everything and
stuff. Just stuff.
It's a stuff. As you see, it's really kind of ongoing actually process, because you keep on discovering stuff while actually working at it. And what I also do, as I have everything kind of scanned, in case I need to design actually a poster, I just use actually my scan to make a design in actually Photoshop, and I print it out. I come back to kind of print shop, and I try to. And I'm kind of typesetting that and try to change things to come to the final design. So for me, it's really digital analog working actually together. And and it's kind of working fine because you can produce your design actually quickly, and you can also think very well and also kind of decide on the wide actually spacing in between the lines and also in between the letters well, because yeah, as you know, kind of letters has a kind of fixed size. We cannot make it smaller or bigger, and typesetting can be very time consuming actually process. So I kind of discovered my own way of actually working where I can jump in between analog and digital.
I wanted to say that this huge O definitely reminds me of iBookBinding's logo.
Yeah. Yeah, some of them are not very clean, as I see.
Yeah.
But it's
the
collection is really huge, and we still have a lot of stuff in actually basement, which also has to be cataloged. So
there's a lot of work for you and probably for other people as well.
Yeah, and also for people to come and use actually our material as artists in residence did that for the last 6 months.
And you don't just have Belgian alphabet, because I just saw letters that are from French, I guess.
Belgians also speak French.
No, the thing is also, it's also a good point. Like almost every alphabet comes with all these actually accents in kind of French, because we have three official languages here. So almost everything has accents, or if it doesn't have the accents, has been delivered are just a part, just one kind of block, so which wood type that you can mount on E or A. So
but
like
say
usually
with this letter here is now Cedilla, it has to be connected to the letter. Yeah,
it's actually ligatured, and we have it a lot because it's a Dutch it's a Belgian thingy. I think it's favorite actually type of composition of Stepan.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, here it is.
This
in its
one.
place. But yeah, I think Pavel meant the next letter,
the one on the right. Yeah.
It's a C. Yeah, it has to be, of course, actually upside down then.
Yeah, but it has this like comma. I think it's called Cedilla or something like that. And I mean that one can't be attached separately.
No,
it has to be cut.
Yeah, it has to be. But you know, in certain actually typefaces, you have these two as two actually separate blocks. Or like for example, the French accent grave, accent aigu, you have also two actually separate separate blocks. And but this kind of French type we have kind of a lot. And also, if you would come back to type to kind of metal type, the letter case in Holland and in Belgium has also different size, because they actually don't have accents, so their cases are slightly smaller than Belgian or French ones, because we have all these accents and we need to have a place in our type case for it. But it's only about metal type.
Do you have any
this one is also very nice.
Any Cyrillic type or any Armenian type or any other type besides Latin Europeans?
I have Cyrillic in my own private actually collection, not a museum. The Cyrillic has been made by a good colleague of mine, Patrick Goossens, because he has monotype typecasting equipment with Cyrillic matrices. So he did.
So it's a metal type.
He did. Yeah, it's actually metal type. So he did, I think, 36 points of times New Roman Italic. So I have only half alphabet because the machine broke after that.
Okay.
So, but
didn't survive
this
the
one
Cyrillic.
is also. This one is really. I found. What I also try to do sometimes, I try to kind of make a research to see where this kind of letters forms came from. And this one, I've seen the metal type of it. I've seen in Greece. It was exactly the same shape, just small metal type. And we have one in a museum. I have no idea where it comes from, but it's not really used a lot because it's very fragile.
So I understand that you need to leave us pretty soon. we have some other photos that you've sent me, and maybe you want me to show something, to discuss something about.
Feel free to show whatever. Yeah.
That doesn't help. Okay, just a moment.
Maybe we can mention something in 2 words about the workshops or like artists in residence, so people can also see that it's different kind of activities are taking place in the museum.
And I'll be back in a minute. My dog is having a fight with the robot.
So here is from Artists in Residence.
Here is a kind of presentation of our latest artist in residence. She came from America. She came to visit us for 6 months actually. Her name is Kate Copeland. She's from Portland, Oregon, and she was making research. And this was the very first our artist in residence. Actually, David Arms. He came from UK. His company's name is Red Plate Press, and he's making very nice typographical landscapes. So like every time that he goes to residency, he just walks through the city. He looks up through collection, and he make typographical landscape work out of it, and it's kind of very beautiful. And he make work about Ghent. So he built up the river from different blocks. He wrote the text. He used the type from a collection, and I think it was 6 or 7 run prints that he did in a kind of 10 days, which was quite tight, because as you know, with letterpress printing, a lot of things can go spectacularly wrong. This is the result of the workshop.
Just a moment. I also have another comment from Thomas. He wrote that they are called floating accents.
Okay, good to know. I have these kind of separate ones.
Thanks a lot, Thomas.
Thank you.
You've been crucial.
Something today.
Yeah, you've been crucial to this live stream today.
You have to invite actually Thomas as a next guest speaker. This is also a result of one of the workshops that I've done. It was actually a hen party. It was ladies that was kind of celebrating the marriage of their friend, and they came to print workshops, kind of posters in a Ghent dialects. I have no idea what's actually written on these posters, but they seem to be having fun.
I've been trying to read it, and I understand that I cannot comprehend it. Absolutely.
Yeah, believe me neither, because it's kind of something else. But these ladies, they seem to kind of enjoy themselves, so I let them do whatever they wanted to do.
Oh, that's perfect.
Yeah, this is the kind of workshop area. This is also one of the workshops that's taking place inside. This is like when we have to work with a kind of smaller group, and this workshop is for 4 hours. Is actually for people who already did actually something in actually typesetting, or they're graphic designers and so on. So we can make some intricate, more kind of complex works, and it works fine. I love working with people, and it's fun. Yeah, this is also in Ghent, so don't ask me what it says.
So there is some local dialect, which is what, or it's a separate language, or what?
It's actually local dialect. No, it's not a really separate language. It's kind of local dialect, and it has different kind of words for the same things. And I'm not very fluent in it yet. Well, I'm kind of living here for the last 20 years, but I didn't manage to learn actually this one yet.
Well, so it's Flemish, right?
It's Flemish, yeah. It's just one of the dialects. There's a lot of dialects in Belgium, basically in every village.
Okay, I guess that's it with these photos. There was also something, some results of the printing work as well. I guess we can go pretty fast through it, and then we'll probably let Armina go and work or something.
Well, I mean, this is also the latest work from July, because in July we have festivities of Ghent. It's kind of festival that takes 10 days, and with kind of a lot of music and spectacular events, and also museum doing a lot of demonstrations. This a poster has been also typeset there, 2 colors printed by my colleagues on Heidelberg KSBA. It's slightly larger slightly larger press, so it was more than A3. And this is also kind of in Ghent. These ones were handed out to people who came to visit museum during the Festival of Ghent. We always do actually something, print something to give out to people. And
the same one.
This is the same one. This is like a small.
Hip hip hurrah.
Yeah, I think it's kind of international noise translation period.
Yeah.
So we made different postcards and also posters that are also for sale in the kind of museum shop. Now I'm working on the Christmas and New Year line, which will come out in kind of November. So it's like always something going on. And yeah, this is kind of ornaments, elements that I kind of managed to find in a cellar or kind of collection. So I just work with whatever I found.
Everything,
and I find it good because, I find it good because you are so kind of limited. And this is for me, it just makes me, I think, more creative within this kind of limitation. And this is also a place that I'd like to be kind of standing in front of the printing press with the tweezers and fiddling around.
Yeah, that's an impressive opportunity for creativity when you have just some random stuff and you have to create.
Yeah, and you can do beautiful things with it.
Yeah. Je bent jarig.
Yeah, it's your birthday.
Yeah. Okay.
It was a poster made for the opening of textile department, and I found a type which kind of resembles pattern.
Yeah.
So I tried to make something with it.
This is, again, rather psychedelic. I like how
it was a bit too much. And this is just a very big shopping list because we had exhibition Casa. Maybe you have seen it when we were there, and it was very big shopping list printed on a kind of A3 about the butter and bread and potatoes, milk and coffee, the most essential stuff that you need to buy for your home.
But what is OK or KO? Because I understand apples, butter, bread, potatoes,
is
milk.
also one of the supermarket actually chains, but I just used this kind of font because I needed a kind of background, but it kind of suddenly came to that supermarket actually chain, and I just left it there. Some of the things in my design, they just grow kind of out of nowhere. It's not planned, it's just there.
Oh, that's life.
Yeah. This is also kind of the making of, so printed color by color, as you know.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and it's only 50 pieces every time it's actually printed, so not more than that.
And we have two of them. I have two of them, and Pavel is...
Oh, good. New ones are coming in November.
We need to come. Well, are you going to be in Leiden this year, or you're visiting only the Druckkunstbeurs?
I'm not sure I will be visiting that because I have so many workshops and actually work, so I'm still not really decided whether I'm going to go or not, but I might go there just really last minute.
Okay.
Kind of every year I went there because it's kind of joyful to see so many colleagues and so many printers to exchange the knowledge and to hang out. This is my type of event.
Perfect. Well, thanks everyone for staying with us. We'll continue with Pavel because Armina has to go, and many thanks to Armina for this tour.
Thank you for invite
and for all the comments. And this time it went much better than the previous time when I was trying to explain some things without any knowledge whatsoever.
I hope we just covered all the kind of topics, and if people have questions, they can leave a comment or just mail it directly. It's absolutely no problem. And I'm going to use this actually occasion to invite everybody to Museum of Industry to come and join. So yeah, if you haven't been
there
here,
is a link in the description to the museum's website. So and also to Armina's website.
Tuesday. Yeah, that's not that important. And I'm there actually on Tuesday, so come and join us.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
So, and we are continuing together with Pavel. What's happening here? Armina, would you just I guess leave
I'm
us.
gonna leave you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, aren't you the gentleman?
Yeah, sure. Okay, what's happening here?
So, do you want me to start talking now? What's the plan?
Just a moment. I need to fix everything because.
Okay, are we now cut in half as usual?
Yeah, almost.
So I can start sharing my screen if you want to.
Yeah, sure. I should probably. I don't know what I should do. I should. Yeah, just give me a moment. I will switch off.
Okay.
Because our heads are split now, quite strangely.
Can the viewers at least see what I'm sharing?
No.
Okay, then I'll just start talking. So, just recently, in fact, a week ago or so, there was a peculiar piece of news. A college student rummaged in an antique shop and found a manuscript page and bought it for just $75, even though he realized immediately that he knew what it was. Just a week or a month before that, he listened to a lecture where the lecturer presented a leaf from the very same manuscript that the one he found was. And he knew it was a very famous manuscript and that it cost quite a bit more.
Quite a bit.
Quite a bit. So some news outlets quoted the number of $5,000 to $10,000. It might not be as much as that, but as a ballpark figure, it is indeed around 5,000. So here is the page that he found, and actually the page was reunited. Here's the lucky fella. So do go into art history. It pays apparently sometimes if you're really lucky, and here is the page he found next to a page from the collection of the college he goes to. It's Colby College of Princeton, Harvard. Where's Colby College? I forget where that is. And on the left, you can see the page from the college's collection, and on the right, framed, and you can see what it says in the corner: 1285 AD on illuminated manuscript on vellum, $75. And I don't know if you can see it, but the one he found is actually in better condition than the one owned by the college, because it was probably framed for the last 50 years and never seen daylight. So first of all, is this estimate correct? So like the $5,000 figure. Obviously, I went and checked the two main auction sites. Sotheby's has one. Sold, nobody knows for how much, but estimated at £4,000 to £6,000. You can see it's a somewhat more spectacular variant with an actual illumination in there, not just pattern like here. I'm not saying this is not spectacular. Come on, this is spectacular. Yeah, but there are even more impressive pages in the manuscript. And there were also two sales at Christie's, one at about £3,000 Again, a very similar page, and another at £5,000 to £8,000 as dollars
Wow,
estimate, and yeah, and sold for 11,000. But that could have been a fluke, and it was what 10 years ago. So that was the first thing that I saw after reading the news. And
now the student can start a project to aggregate all of the pages from there, like it was with Nuremberg Chronicle, or was what?
Well, funny you should say that. So actually, the lecturer who showed him one of the pages is running just such a project. I sent you some links in advance. So the project is called Broken Books. Unfortunately, it's not online today. Like just yesterday, I checked all the links and they were working. But I sent you a link to the web archive, and if we and on this website, they are reconstructing this very book, the Beauvais Missal of the late 13th century, French, obviously. And if you go to the catalog, you can see that currently the book is split at least between 118 locations. I mean, just imagine that, one book in 118 locations. So when I saw that, I was almost sure which surname would come up in the description. And indeed, if you go to the main page of the website, you can find this phrase. So it was owned until 1942 by William Randolph Hearst, the famous industrialist and founder of so many collections and colleges. It was owned by him until 1942, when he sold it through Gimbel Brothers to New York dealer Philip Duchesne. So some of you may have heard that name, but because he often did the following: who cut it up and began selling leaves less than 1 month later. But that's not it, because what follows is the best name, the worst name you can hope to find in a book's provenance, because he sold it on to Otto Egge, who scattered it through his usual means. And we can see the key name in the following sentences. Leaves of the Beauvais Missal are number 15 in Otto Egge's 50 original leaves of medieval manuscripts portfolio. And again, 50 original leaves of medieval manuscripts. Okay, so let me just show you what that looks like. Imagine a box, a very nice box, and it says Otto Egge medieval manuscripts in the middle. I don't know if you can see it. A very nice box.
I'll share the link. So
yeah. 50 original leaves, and when you open it, you indeed find 50 leaves of different medieval manuscripts. We can see the content starting from 12th century, a New Testament from Switzerland, and going all the way to the 16th century to a French book of hours. And every single leaf comes from a different manuscript. Well, we can just browse them and see what's inside all those boxes. I mean, those are some incredible works. I should say what they were intended as. They were not intended as collector's items. They were created as portfolios for lecturers, for universities, and for touring programs. Because in the late 40s and early 50s, there was a great interest, especially in America, regarding European art, because so many Americans traveled, shall we say, to Europe and all over the world in mid-40s, you know, and they wanted to know more. And there was a great interest, especially towards book arts and towards different types, different handwriting styles. And these lecturing tours all over America were very popular. So for people like that, Otto Ege cut up 50 manuscripts, some of them pre-cut up before him, and he made 40 portfolios of all sorts of things. And we should get rather soon to the one we are interested in. What is this? Where, like, I really like this one. I mean, in terms of calligraphy, it's a spectacular thing. There are lots of musical books in here, and that's typical. If you go to any
well, there were quite a few of them made, so.
But also quite a few of them were cut, starting in 19th century, but especially in the 20th century.
Yeah, and you can see them the pages from these books wherever, like used to for covering materials, for lining the spines, anything.
Yeah. I presume they dated really fast as music dates fast now, so they were made and remade, especially in 13th, 14th century, when French school of music was developing really fast. More voices, more music lines were added. So
also, that style of notation changed at some moment, and then these books, I guess, were quite often used. So they probably fell apart pretty fast. So, well, if you have separate pages that are of no longer used, why not use them as a binding material? So it's just only reasonable. And then now they survive this way. So we have at least some material coming from these ages.
Okay, but I just wanted to show you the map where all these portfolios are. It's often said that he dispersed the books all over the world, but I'm sure it's American saying
it's an American view on the world.
Yeah, all over the world, all the way to Canada. Imagine that.
International.
Yeah. So it's and you can see where they are. They are mostly in libraries, colleges, and art galleries, and mostly in Eastern US. So 50 books dispersed into 50 locations. I don't know what to think of it. I started to read about this guy Otto Ege, and I found this wonderful self-written thing. This is from 1938, and this is an article in defense of biblioclasm, in defense of destroying books. And I have to say, one of my favorite authors writing about manuscripts today, where is this quote? Yeah, so Christopher de Hamel called this man Otto Ege as the one who probably destroyed more medieval manuscripts than any single person since the Reformation. So that's quite a title.
Quite a record.
But
then I guess
imagine
in
that in
19
the Guinness Book of Record.
in the 1930s, among some people, it was quite popular to destroy different sort of things, and
I'm a biblioclast, says Otto Ege, and how does he defend himself? Well, he says that his mission is fivefold: never to take apart a museum piece, book, or a unique copy. So here he is, the arbiter of quality. What is museum piece and what doesn't deserve to survive as a whole. The second, to search for and make available to schools, libraries, collections, and individuals single leaves or units of medieval manuscripts, incunabular works, and fine presses. So he also destroyed incunabulas. That's interesting to know.
But he had a high mission, a calling.
To circulate leaf exhibits, supplemented with outlines, lectures, and slides to organizations so as to engender an interest in fine books, past and present. So this is an argument, I have to say.
But then, if there already were slides, obviously there already were slides. I understand that it wasn't a digitized world. It had to pass several more decades before the world became digitized, and it would be easier to to share images of different objects. But then there already were slides. You already had an opportunity to show your students anything.
Okay, but still, let me read the second one. If those are students who just need to know what a book looks like, you can show them a slide. But what about the first one? To encourage and inspire by these fragments the amateur calligrapher and private press devotee, not to imitate the deeds of the masters of the book, but to think as they did to meet present-day problems. So, okay, if you are to recreate something like that, you certainly need to see an original. And you and I both know how difficult it is to see an original medieval book up close, to handle it. It was difficult then, it is difficult now. What will you say to that?
But would 40 copies of this supplementary material thingy really help?
Well, he didn't just destroy 40 books. Okay. He destroyed hundreds and sold fragments of hundreds more destroyed by his colleagues. So we are talking about thousands and thousands of manuscript leaves. Okay, and now the most famous quote of his: surely to allow thousands of people to have and to hold an original manuscript leaf and to get the thrill and understanding that comes only from actual and frequent contact with these art heritages is a justification enough for the scattering of fragments. Few, indeed, can hope to own a complete manuscript book. Hundreds, however, may own a leaf. This word hundreds really tells me anything. It's democratization in the ancient Greek sense of the world. Oh, what is going on?
Someone's calling you.
Yeah, sorry. So he did make the book more available, but instead of a few people, a few hundred people got access to it. And this says it all to me. I mean, I freed the book so that not just the very wealthy, not just the wealthiest people can touch them, but also the very wealthy ones too. Okay. I mean, what a douchebag. I know he was a man of his time, but then most men of his time were douchebags. That's my that's my takeaway from this story. I'm impressed.
And that's a good moment to end our live stream.
Can I stop sharing the screen?
Yeah, sure. So yeah, it was an interesting experience. Thanks, Pavel, for preparing this story for us. And well, I guess we had a fun live stream today, and we don't yet have a guest fixed for our next week, but I'll try to do something, and we'll see how it goes. I had a couple of people sort of in discussion, but we'll see. I'm not sure what's happening next week. But anyway, we'll try to do a live stream next week. And as usual, if you like what we do, please check the links below. Subscribe to our Facebook account, YouTube, to our Discord channel, server. How do you call it? There is a small but helpful community there, and people sometimes ask questions and even get replies. And also, please check the link to our Patreon account, because, well, money we get from our patrons are crucial to us to pay for editing of some videos and for example, research work done for the previous live stream where we discussed the bookish objects from the Rings of Power series, and we plan to talk about more series and movies in the future. So yeah, check the links in the description. Subscribe, share, like, definitely share with your friends. We have a nice group of regulars on our live streams, but we definitely want to see more people here and have more questions and to have an opportunity to answer them. What else? Did I forget anything?
Well, exactly 90 minutes.
Yeah,
that's the moment to stop.
Exactly 90 minutes. So as usual, we'll stay for a short moment while the buffer goes through, and then we'll stop. See you next time.